Hey everybody! I'm really excited to show you a deeper dive into our document and transcript mining processes today, specifically at how we use AI here within ThoughtfulGPT to better advocate for our customers, build stronger connections between our sales and customer development motions into our product and engineering team, and make use of all of the really powerful brainstorming discussions that we've had with a few investors and our internal team. Here on my screen you can see a transcript. It's 28 pages long from a conversation I had with one of our awesome investors. He's a marketing expert and we actually did a deep dive with him in our product, and I am going to use our transcript to product macro to extract out some really powerful insights around how we might be able to add and enhance our product in a way that actually could be useful for him and some of his other portfolio companies. And so I'm going to open up a new document actually just to store all of these golden nuggets of ideas for future reference. Now I'm going to undo this just to show you a few other things here. I'm going to take another macro of mine that is more of a general product idea miner. So it's going and reviewing this conversation and extracting relevant product ideas that could be useful for us to think about here at ThoughtfulGPT. I'm going to paste this into my sprint planning sandbox, and I'll use this a little later for sprint planning for next month. Now I'll turn to another conversation we've had with another investor who's a big advocate of the ThoughtfulGPT team. I'm going to select the whole conversation, and actually I remember there's some action items here that we needed to follow through on for him, so I'll run that macro first and add that into our sprint planning sandbox. I'm going to undo the macro, and actually one important thing to call out is that we have multiple language models, and I find that Claude is the best one to extract insights out of large documents. And so now after running our product wish list macro on this conversation, we can paste that in our sprint sandbox as well. We'll mine this transcript for product ideas. Some good ones in here. Put this into our sandbox. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to create a detailed project plan so that we can show that this investor in particular, but it could be a customer, prospect, internal stakeholder, that we're listening and actively taking in their feedback and putting it into our ultimate plans and tactics. Oh, of course, we want to make sure to follow up and thank our investor for their time. And I use this macro a lot to circle back with people and showcase that we're, again, leaning in, listening, and continuing to build a better foundation for our relationships. Now I'll turn my attention to another internal team meeting that we had where we were brainstorming about things we'll need to do to take advantage of these new features we've built out here at ThoughtfulGPT. I transcribed that session, and this is a habit that I've now gotten into with all of my team, where we transcribe our brainstorming, focus our human energy on doing actual creative brainstorming, and then we lean on these tools to help organize the brainstorming into tactical next steps. And as you can see here on the second run of the macro, there was an action item that pointed that we should redo our homepage, and that reminds me that we had another really fruitful conversation with the first investor that we spoke about earlier in this demo, where he gave us some really incredible advice and feedback about what changes we need to make to our landing page in order to resonate with different audiences. And so you can see I've run not only the idea macro, but also now turned this transcript into a detailed project plan, and I'm going to take that into my sprint planning document for future reference. And now I'll go ahead and close all my extraneous tabs and I have one unified sprint planning sandbox with a host of different action items. And now I'm going to lean on ThoughtfulGPT to help me turn this into a tactical set of next steps for the upcoming sprint for the year. You can actually create and manage macros straight from the widget or from our platform. In this case, since I'm doing something really quick, I want to just create this right here in the window. I'm going to title this macro monthly sprint planning, and I'll give it a quick description so that I can know what it is for future reference. And in terms of the prompt, I copied in something that I already had in mind. We're going to review the project plans, actually factoring in all of our stakeholders' various strengths. There's a couple people on the team who I want to be involved, from designers to engineers to our marketing team and my co-founder. We're going to use all of these strengths and deploy them effectively throughout the week or next couple weeks. I'm also describing the context that we will be factoring in for this sprint plan, just to kind of give the AI a little bit more clues as to how I want it to help me with this task. And last but not least, I'm also going to give it a quick note that there's a couple of us who are going to be out of the office throughout the next month because it is the holiday time. And so rather than me worrying about calendaring and planning all that, I'm just going to delegate the heavy lifting to our AI. And so I'm not going to give it a group because I do want it to be a general macro that I see in my widget right now, although you could organize them in a group. You can see here our brand new monthly sprint planning macro. I'm going to select the whole document and run the macro. And voila! We have a very detailed sprint plan for each member of the team with our top things to focus on and each project mapped to a week for the entirety of the month of December. With that, I've done a pretty extensive mining process that would have taken me hours, if not days, in the matter of a few minutes. Hope this gave you some ideas to spark your creativity. And if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks.